Greetings Gambia, my name is EqSinger from the EQ Records. I'm a recording artist, a songwriter, and the CEO of EQ Records from the Gambia, West Africa dancehall artist. Right now I'm on celebrity host on Asagam TV. You know the vibe. So let me tell you this, too much girl me have. Anyone me go, the girl them tear me apart. Whoa, me them fight for, me know what them like, so me speed. Let me tell you this, watch more soon. Welcome back to Celebrity Host. Yeah, as I told you, my name is Omar Ndimbalan, that's my real name, but EqSinger is my artist name. I'm a dancehall artist from the Gambia, West Africa. I was born in Bansang, a small town called Bansang, Central River region. Yeah, that's where I was born in. I came from a very big family, and I started my music career in Bansang as well. I did my nursery school in Bansang, my junior school, primary school, my upper basic school, everything in Bansang. But I did my senior school in Armitage High School too. But when it comes to my music, I was definitely inspired when I was in my upper basic school. That's when I started loving music. I started loving the vibe, and I started watching other musicians, and I was like, these people are really doing good, and the kind of vibe that they do, like I definitely used to love it. So what happened was I started singing. So when I'm in my classroom, I'll be singing, and many people will be like, yo, let's hit the table, and they'll be hitting the table. I'll be doing freestyles and so on. You know, most of my people will be like, you have a voice, you are good, you have the energy. And when we have like programs, I go on stage, I perform other songs. I even used to mime other songs sometimes on stage. I used to do all of that. At the end of the day, when I came to Armitage High School too, same time, I do that. I was living in the boarding school in Armitage, Makati Janjambure, and I started singing. So most of the times, like when we have programs, I'll just go to the DJ and I'm like, oh DJ, I have a beat, an instrumental that I want to perform on. And I'll just get on stage and I perform it. And later on what happened was I realized this music, if you want to be good, you also have to be in the background. When I say in the background, means you have to become a DJ too, because it gives you more time to listen to more music, to listen to more artists, how they sing, how they style, how they write, even their songwriting and everything. So I had to get it into my system. I had to make sure everything is inside me. I have to know everything, because in the Gambia, like music school, by then I didn't have the finance to definitely pay for music school by then, and I wasn't even thinking of going to the music school because no one is helping me financially on my music. I did everything by my own. So then I said, okay, let me just try and become a DJ. I become a DJ. A radio DJ at first in Bansang Community Radio. Then I was a club DJ as well. You know, I play in club, I mash up clubs, you know. We party till morning. I do mixing and so on. You see. So later on in 2010, after graduating from Armitage High School, I got back to Bansang. That's my very hometown. And I realized Gam music wasn't so popular there. Many of the artists that you hear in the combos here, in the Banjul area, you don't hear them in the provinces, and because people were not used to playing them, even on radio. So I was this very DJ by then who used to take Gambian music artist songs and play them on radio, and even go to clubs and I play, because I used to say I will only play my people music, you know, because one day I'm also gonna be there. I would love to see people who play Gam music. That's what I love to see. So that's when I started playing Gambian music, and I started playing it on the radio as well. Then I started gaining popularity, many people started knowing about me, and they were like, whoa, General Dims, he's really playing, because that was my first name, General Dims. So anybody that calls me General Dims, I exactly know you knew me from long time. So that was my first name before EQ the singer. So later on, when I did that, Gambian music became popular in the provinces. I started collaborating with other artists, like Jammeh, making those connections, Jammeh and Dur. You have likes people like Amina Conte and likes of Bailemu and Badi Bunka, connecting with the schools and so on. I started being in between, and many more other artists, So when people over there say they need programs, they need shows, I'll go to the radio and I'll be playing like several artists on the radio, and I'll ask the people, okay, which of these artists will you want us to bring you here for this other program this very month? And people will select. They will say, okay, we need this artist. So the highest vote, that's the artist I do tell the people to bring. Those are the organizers. So people like Badi Bunka, Nyancho, even Amiru Emparo, all of them, we brought them there, and we did everything. People like Sambaba, all of them, and we did shows. So being with those people and being around them most of the time and watching what they do, their movements, because I'm a very sensitive person. Like if I'm with you, I like to learn a lot, and I don't make myself like I know everything. I'm that type of person. Like even if I know, sometimes I will act like I don't know, just to know what you know. So I can also mix it in mine, and I make sure I go on with it, because no man is an island. After watching their movement and how they perform and the earnings from the shows, from the programs, and I also started learning. Then that's when I started organizing my own shows too, I myself. Then I said, okay, let me start bringing out some of my songs. Then I started recording some of my songs in 2011. But those ones, I can call them beginner's songs, because they were not always perfect, because it was in the beginning. So I started, but my hometown people believed in me, and I was one of their favorite artists in Bansang, and one of their biggest artists, and one of the very first youngest artists that organized a show and filled up the Bansang Youth Center. I was the first person that did that back in 2012. That was when I did my first show in 2012. So after doing this, it was successful, the place was full, and everybody came out. Then my songs started going viral in the provinces and in the Casamas area and around Basse and other places. So by then, I didn't have the confidence to come and perform in Banjul, like these other areas. But what happened was, later on, after 2012, 2013, I was like, I need to go to the next stage. Since I have little money, let me try and buy some studio items. That's when I went and I started buying a $300 microphone, $300 microphone that DJs use by then on stage. It's more like a karaoke microphone. That's how they call it today. So I went and bought one of them from one seller at the market, and I brought it. I used to hang the cable on top of the ceiling. That's what I used to do before. I would hang it on top of the ceiling because I didn't know I needed a mic stand. I didn't know, I went and I asked my one of my sister. I told her I needed a very old computer to use, and definitely that old computer, she gave it to me. And thanks to my sister, yeah, Aisatu Dimbalan, she did that for me. I cannot forget. She gave me that computer, and I brought that computer. And remember, by then I wasn't even having a sound card. I don't have a sound card and audio interface, so I only use the microphone, and I connect it direct to the computer, and I use Cubase, and I started recording. This was what I did. All I used was stock plugins. I never had third-party plugins. I never had all those things. You see, so I started recording, and when I mix and master, everything was just sounding good, you know. Then I said, okay, but I need to connect with other producers too as well. So that's when I started going around people like Cyboy. I will leave my home and I go up to Cyboy Entertainment, you know, despite the distance, but I'll go. But then I was having a bicycle. I'll go and I be at the studio there, you know, at least wanting to see, you know, what I can learn, and definitely. And I started reading the environment, like the things they do, and I started meeting this guy too, Nova. So Nova, when I started meeting Nova too, the same thing. So I will go there in the studio, I'll be there, you know. I even started doing some recordings there and created beats by then at Nova, just to make sure I have tips. So after having those tips, most of those tips, I came back and I started using those ones on my songs. So I would record songs for free. Yeah, for free, I mean free. So that's what I did. And through that free, I developed myself. And later on, I came back, and one day, one of my brother's son came and told me, Dad, well, there is a guy called Stylist Records. He's having a studio. He's having a recording studio, you know. I've told him about you, but his studio name is C Records. And I was like, oh, okay. And Dad told me, but you knew each other, you know, because you went to the same school together, you know, despite he is older than you, but you went to the same school school with each other. And I said, okay, no problem. Then when I meet him, maybe I'll recognize him. Yeah, so this was what happened, and I met Stylist, and Stylist was like, whoa, yeah, so this is my studio, we can also work. You know, that's when I started being around Stylists. Sometimes I would even record artists. You know, by then his studio name was C Records. We started recording some songs and so on. You know, and we were like that until 2013, and we started going to Basse, recording some of the artists, artists like A2, Brown Skin, and other artists too. We went and started recording them in their studios, in their place in Basse. So we created rhythms like Ibukalong rhythm, all those rhythms. We went and we started recording. So all these experiences started coming in and so on, even shows and so on. Yeah, so then we came back in 2016. That's when this guy, a guy called, 2015. That was when Cyboy was in the studio with me, and he was like, EQ, you need to change your name from General Dims to EQ. At least something, so that's when we used EQ. So he said change it to EQ, then I used EQ. And after using EQ, I had an interview with this Daily Observer, Gambia government, and they put me on their front page, and they wrote the dancehall artist EQ the singer. So that's when the singer came, because I'm a singer. So this is how it came. So when it came, I said, let me change all my social media accounts and so on, and I put EQ the singer. That's when I put EQ the singer on all of them. Yeah, I'm a Muslim, and my tribe is Bambara. I come from the Bambara tribe, actually. Yeah, and definitely, since I'm a Gambian as well, I just usually say I'm a Gambian. You know, I'm all. You know, so when it comes to my religion too, I said I'm a Muslim, but still I'm a Gambian. But in the Gambia, since we are all the same, so definitely the love, the respect, and everything is here, you know, despite everything. Yeah, and for my music, yeah, my parents, they supported it. My father, for the very first time that I was supposed to go and have my first interview on the radio station, I was scared, definitely. I was scared, I was sweating. I didn't know how to tell him. I wasn't even able to tell him. But what happened was, I told my auntie, I told my late auntie, may her soul rest in perfect peace. I told her, well, I'm going to have an interview, today at the radio station, but I don't know how to tell my father. So she was the only one who was able to speak to my father, about this. So she said, don't worry, just go and have your interview. And I went and I had my interview, but before it happened, she went and told my dad, and my dad was like, well, let me go and buy a radio, and I come and place it, and I listen to my son. So my father went, my late dad, he went and he bought a radio station. He passed away. So, yeah, so this part touched my feelings because my father passed away. Yeah, so may your soul rest in perfect peace, Dad. I know you wanted to support me on my music career, but you're not here to witness it today, but you're not here to witness my success. You don't witness my success, but obviously this is how the Almighty created everything, and this was his plan. And I believe in the Almighty, and what he did, and I'm saying rest in peace to all those who lost their souls and who lost their lives, and all those who passed away. I'm saying rest in peace. For my mom, I'm saying thanks a lot. My mom is alive. Definitely she is here and she's supporting me, definitely. In the beginning she was the one that wasn't so sure if I will even go further with my music, because she realized the only guy that was to support me, that was my dad, and he's not here. So she was like, well, you're in this alone, how will you have that maximum support that your father will give you? So she said, but anyway, I'll also support you, but I don't know if you can make it in this. But later on, what happened was, I started bringing in some ideas about shows, and I told my mom I need to borrow some money and organize some shows, and I did that. And after the show, I made a lot of money, and she was like, well, if it is like this, maybe you can continue. At least you can have a little bit of something that you can use and support yourself. Although so many people failed me, so many people, and that was also part of the things that also wasted my time even before, because I had so many people that promised me. They will call me and be like, I've been seeing your work, I've been seeing what you are doing, and definitely I would like to support you. I would like to support you on your music. Just call me. Anything that you will want me to help you with, just call me and I will do it for you. And people like me, I don't usually have doubt on people. When I see anybody, I don't even judge people. When I see anybody, I feel like everybody has a good heart just like me. I've never thought like most of those people will disappoint me by then, but they did, because I trusted them, So this was what happened. They failed me, but definitely the Almighty didn't fail me. The Almighty didn't fail me. I worked so hard. Anytime they made promises, I'll be sitting down, I'll be waiting till later on I started learning that if someone promised me, I don't have to sit down and wait. I don't have to believe unless when I see. So that's when I started working so hard. I'll even go out by then to take contracts to go and do block works, concrete works, concrete works, laborer works, all these things, just to make sure I have money for my music, for my music. I even there was a time that I had to join one of the brothers who used to sell some of these things, like we call them angare here in our own language. Like he used to sell these poisoners that we use for agricultural manures and so on. I joined this brother, and I'll go with him to the largest market where we call Lumos, where we go and sell. I'll go and I place stuffs, and we'll be there. I'll be selling for him, and he'll be paying me bit by bit. I even had to sell fuel, fuel for this guy, this jar oil. this jar oil. Before it was this biggest jar oil. By then it was just beginning. By then, Mohammed Jar had to sell fuel for him. All this. I had to go to the bush even sometimes before and fetch some firewood, and I come and sell. All these things I did. I even what we call coups, the coups that we make and sell it at the market. Before I'll get these things, my mom will give it to me and say, go and sell. Even groundnut, I'll take it and I place the plate on my head. I go and sell, and my some of my colleagues will be like, oh boy, you are here, you are going selling these things, like I'll be passing, they'll be laughing. Some of them, but I know they were my friends. It was like fun. That's how they see it, and that's how I see it too before. Even this woman's Kalla, they are veiled. I used to go and I get some and I sell. Sometimes my mom will give them to me and say, go and sell them. Take some of the profit. All these things just to make sure I don't have time sitting down with friends who just want to sit down every day from morning to evening and so on. She was avoiding those things. So this was my life before. And all this money I use them and I gather bit by bit. I did most of my songs, but later on when I started doing some of these rhythms with Stylish, the producer, Stylish Records. When we started doing some rhythms and I started singing on those rhythms, there was just one rhythm that he first brought, and I nailed that rhythm. That rhythm, many people were not even expecting it's a Gambian that sang on that rhythm. The rhythm became famous. It became so famous that many people loved it, they liked it. It was played on majority clubs, main DJs play it, even other DJs today play it. It was just going viral until one day I performed the song at Lamin release in Lamin, and people were like, wow, so this is the artist that sang this song. I was so young by then, and that's when I started gaining popularity. People started calling me saying I need to have a fan base and so on. They organized a fan base for me, people like Sabri Dandang, he was working at Jaiteh. I would say thanks to him, and people like Prime Jallo, Prime Grandis Jallo. Prime was a radio presenter too at Star FM. He was a radio presenter. People like Ebrima Sonko and many more. There are many, all of you that has passed through and created this EQ Dynasty fan base. I'm saying thanks a lot. We used to have meetings. My fan base used to have the highest fan base. But in this music industry, what we say is like good artists usually have the biggest fight, in this industry, especially if you don't have other people to back you, like financially. Because for me, that was my problem financially. That was the problem. So many people were not backing me financially, and I had support from the fans, but the people that will promise me and tell me I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll expect, and later they failed it. But luckily, later on, I went and have a contract management from some of the Zimbabwean producers, like Keita Beats, Darajina War Records. I did some rhythms with them, with Keita Beats, and definitely after doing those rhythms, I gained popularity in the Zimbabwe area and other countries too, because most of them were also thinking I'm a Zimbabwean, because most of them were like, the way I flow is totally different from most of the artists, and so on. So later on, First Class Records to Zimbabwe, all those people, you have Rocktown Music, all these people, you have Pondem in Zimbabwe, all these people. The link up started, everything started growing. I met some of these American producers, a record label that started a contract, but we couldn't continue with the contract because some other things were underneath that I didn't want to go forward with, so I had to leave that contract, because it involved some other things. you know. So later on, what happened was my album, the Zimbabweans had to make all my album. They produced all my album, and I launched my first album in 2018. 2018, that was when I launched my first album. And behind the promotion of my own album, Gambian music promotion, that is Gamvas, they call it Gamvas Universe, Gamvas, Gamvas, they call it Gamvas still, that is Darboe and the crew. You know, they started promoting everything, the album. You know, it started bringing in promoters. They were all there. You have One Force crew, that's DJ Lassis and his crew, you know, and Pisces. You know, the Squad Fabulous Entertainment, that's DJ Fabulous, all of them were behind it, definitely. So Gum Promo Universe, yes, Starboy and his crew, all of them. So I'm saying thank you to all of you, and all those other crews that were there. So they started promoting it. We did the album, and it went well, but there was a lot of fight. Because there were type of songs that I do, but still, when I think the people that were supposed to push it, to the people that supposed to get me there, like whenever I come so close, if I ask them, have you given it to this guy, have you given it to that guy, they'll be like, yes, I've given it to them. But on the whole, they didn't give it to those people. So my song always stay behind. They never pass it on. Even on rhythms and so on, they never pass it on. They leave it behind. So this was what happened. And there was a time people started saying, me and A2, our voices look alike, like when we sing. Yeah, definitely they will look alike, because in the studio, we were always there together. And most of the time, we record each other. So this is what happens. And a producer, you direct artists. So if you are sitting on the decks, you must direct the next one. So this is what happens. So many people couldn't understand. There was an extent that I went, and a producer had to tell me, okay, like EQ, we definitely had to reduce the way we are promoting you and so on, because someone told us, if we over promote you, you know, like you are good on stage, the way you perform on stage, and you are good on live band performance too. Like we have our artist here, A2, you know, you might disturb his movement and so on. But I had to make a response to that, you know. But later on, I realized there are people. I knew all the people who said that to this very producer. This was when I came and I started realizing, okay, the fight have been going on, you know, because before I couldn't believe it, but later on I believe it. So this was what happened. But since we were all together in one studio, I didn't want it to have no problem with anybody because of music, because family comes first every time, you know. So I said, let me just keep the faith, you know. Everybody will get what they want at the end of the day. So that's when I started moving on. I started finding links outside, you know, instead of the studio, you know. So that's when I started finding outside links, and I started getting more connections, and I started connecting with the people that believe in me 100%. The people that wanted to push me, you know, the people that wanted to push me. So many people before wouldn't understand, but if I was somebody, I would have break everything on social media and started talking. But I'm not that type of person, like talking, you know, that talking type. So many things happens because I've learned a lot from my past. So I don't see anybody that can break me or do something to me. And I come on social media, I say I want to talk about it. Even when you check on my social media posts, I only post when it's important. But I don't just post anything and I'm like, today I'm here, enjoying this and that, chilling this and that. No, I'm all about the music. That's me. So I used to hide a lot of secrets before, a lot of secrets. Even before I'll produce for a lot of other producers, I'll do projects for them and so on. The projects have gone lit, they are all hit. But many people didn't even know I did those projects. You know, I was like the guy behind the scene. So all these things were happening. But why they had to happen and people would not know about me was because I wasn't financially strong. You know, I wasn't financially strong. So I have to keep my patience. And I be down there, I work. I have to let them treat me. but I have to let them treat me like that. I do the good work, and at the end I'm not compensated. It happens. But many people who knew what I was doing before, they respected and they knew I did this, and most of these songs are but hit songs, and they are everywhere. But at the end of the day, still I don't get credits for it. But I said, all right, no problem. We have 2023. That's when I started planning. I said, 2023, I have to open my own studio. So in 2019, my contract with the Zimbabweans ended. So that's when another guy to saw me at the stadium performing. After I was with this guy Christopher Martins, the Jamaican artist, and this guy D Major, the Jamaican artist. We all link up together. You have Daniel James. I even have collaborations with some of the UK artists. Even Daniel James is a part of it, a producer in England. So this guy called Maki, he came and signed me. He's a Jamaican guy based in the United Kingdom in UK. He's a DJ as well. So he saw me and said, boy, you have a lot of talent. I saw your stage performance and you this and this and that. Definitely, I would like to secure a contract with you. But I told him, like, I'm in a contract with other people, and it will end around October, so I cannot take any other one. So he said, okay, it can be unofficial right now. I have a compound that I'm taking at TAF. I would like you to come there, so we can all be in the same place together, so we can work fast. That's when I said, okay, then no problem, since it's unofficial. That's when I came. But unfortunately, the contract, we did 2019, 2020, but it didn't continue due to certain things, that were happening as well, because like mixing family with business always spoils contracts, so I don't want to interfere in things that are not my business too. So I say, let me just make sure I leave this contract, in peace, no problems, and I go forward and I do my own thing. That's when I started doing my own things, my own things. When I say my own things, that is making sure the talent that I had, I started buying a little computer, and the little money I was having, I started buying other devices just to start making beats. So I used those things. I wasn't even having a proper studio monitor. So I was in my room every day. I don't even go out. I'll be at home. The links, the connections I have, the Jamaican artists and other Hollandaise artists and the Swiss artists that I know, most of them, I'll create beats for them. And I make sure I give it to them. And I tell them, just give me anything. That's when I started having those small things, and they started loving these things. So I started securing contracts. People started sending me their beats, and I'll be there creating. Their beats, and they'll be paying me. So this was what was going on. I was using that money, saving it, saving that money bit by bit, until I started buying few stuffs for my music. Then I said, okay, I don't just have to build a studio. The first thing that I need is buying plugins, softwares, because they're expensive. Because most of the producers and most of the other ones I work with before, I've asked them of plugins, but when I ask them, they don't even want to give it to me. They don't want to, and we sit in the same studio, and we do a lot of things. I've recorded a lot of artists and Stylish Records, a lot of people. So I said, let me buy my own. Then that's when I struggled, and I buy my own plugins. Despite they're expensive, I started checking the best ones, and I buy them and I place them. Then later on, I started buying the studio items. And with the studio items too, with the help of my wife, definitely she understood, because most of the time, like what happens is, I'll just have, maybe if I have, example, $5,000, and that's my last money, and now I see an item that I want to buy online, and I realize, oh, this item, I need this item. If I tell her, she'll be like, okay, no problem, you can buy it. She don't even care if we have to go zero, so she believed in me. So I started buying these stuff one by one, and I started bringing them in, So when I started doing that, and most of my people outside started realizing that I'm having a lot of items, then more projects started coming. So I was working on those underground projects until 2023. So this is when I just came in. I say now I have to bring out all these packages, and I set up my own recording studio. So this is when everything happens. That's the EQ Records we are saying here. That's when I open everything. So you see.
Yeah, one guy, send power down. This and guts, send power down. Yo, yes, your boy.
EQ Records.
Down a house in a walling boy. You will never saw the boy down a mother can get me in a rock when you mean again. Walling, walling. Young go younger. Walling, man, boy younger. My ex boy, man, go younger. Walling, you go younger. Man, young boy, man, go younger. Walling. Man go yengal, man yakse boy, man go yengal, yakse boy, mama fi yengal.
Happy New Year, yeah? Give me the drop, let me give them some Batman thing there. Oh! Some sexy thing. Alright. Hear me now. The Catholic government is full of broke people. The US embassy, them reject people. You can't even get a job, let them take people. Can't even fly to the white people. Come on. You see? When I hate people, when they have no reason they will fake people. Me mommy and me daddy demonstrate people, but some black people now they make that people. Oh yeah, me didn't get crazy, yeah? Them said that you know what? Yeah. Take you back, man. Take off your time, go. When you do a movement, take exercise, though. I do the fucking game with my agenda. You do it, go and do your mundo. Did you just come back again? You tell them about the art. As an artist, me no want no go. Me tell you woman, me no want no go. Me heart clean, the bad man fi go down. No bad woman can go down, me go down. Let me down, let me go. The DJ says, you see me? Yeah. You see me pay for me food, me say don't take it. You see me pay for me money, don't take it. You see a guy from the girl, don't take it. You see a friend girl, don't take it. Oh my God. Come on. And you think me say don't take it. And I will tell somebody something. Hear me now? Yeah, you see a free DJ, we say don't take it. You see a free APR, don't take it. You see a free promoter, don't take it. So when you're not dealer, don't take it. Don't take it. I will not market me. Yeah, give me this sound, let me go, yeah?
Welcome back to Asagam TV. Right now I'm your host still, EQ the singer. I'm a dancehall artist. We are inside EQ Records. I'm your host on Celebrity Host. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my performance in 2017 at Hyperlink. Yeah, so I want to tell you people that for those that don't know, well, I'm married. I'm off the market. Yeah, I'm off the market. I'm married, and thanks to my wife for the support. You know, she supported me greatly. You know, in so many ways, I can say, in so many ways, definitely. Like having a woman that can definitely understand me in my music career and business like this, definitely she is part of the success. They say behind every successful man, there is a very wise woman. You know, she could have been like, why are you spending this on this? Why are you spending this on that? Because you don't know what our audio interface is. She don't know what our studio microphone is before. You know, she wouldn't have understand. But because she believed in me, that's why she let me got all those things. I'll use all the money and I just spend it on it. And today now she knows everything. She knows what an audio interface is and everything. So thanks to her, and definitely. Yeah, so for that of the industry, my music before it was under my record label, but after the contracts and so on, what happened was I had to remove everything from the label. I had to delete even most of my songs from my YouTube. I have to delete most of them from my YouTube and so on, and Spotify and so on. I have to remove most of those accounts just to start fresh, to start a new one, which is going to be me. That's me, no label included, definitely. So right now, I'm about to open my Spotify because I'm working on one of my albums, and the album will be done soon, definitely. I usually take my time when I'm doing things. I like to work like that. I don't just rush because I'm somebody I'm a person that like to challenge myself. No matter how much good I do my music and I feel it's good still, I still like to challenge myself. I'll be like, no, I can do better. I'm that type of person. So I'm going to open another Spotify still, and I make sure I'll drop my album in there, and I'll do some videos and so on. Yeah. So from there, I'll give you links where you can find me, where you can find my music and so on. And for that of EQ Records, this studio, we have our studio poster or flyer that we shared. We have our studio number too. Like when you are to record, you do bookings. Like you call and you tell us the day that you want to come. If you want to come like a day like today, then you call us in the morning, like today morning. Like you tell us you want to come, because you confirm. So we will confirm you as well, and we make sure we expect you, because we don't like to take more than the number of artists that we like to take per day, because artists used to be too much. We don't want it to be a studio wherein artists will be here to an extent like you sit down and you get tired waiting for another artist, and you say, let me go home and I come back again. We don't want it like that. You want when you come, you be comfortable. All the artists here, they know when you're in the studio, we don't rush you. Like we make sure you take your time. We all work together in collaboration to make sure the song is good. And if the song is not good, we still advise you to go back home and you rehearse it still, and you come back again and you do it. Because I've been in the industry and most of the works I've been doing are so good. So people are not expecting me to do something that is not good. So I will not want to give somebody something bad too. And for the artists, the way we promote them, we take them like we have a TikTok account, we have a Facebook account, we have Instagram account, we have a Twitter account, and I'm in more than 250 WhatsApp groups as well. So we do share all the videos that we take from the studio, because after recording we do take videos of your song. So those are demo, like we call them demo and preview, that we can share so people can know you have a new music coming. And the people who never knew you sing, they will also see you and know you. And exactly we do put your own location, like the artist. If you are from Senegambia or anywhere, we do write meet this artist, from finest artist from Senegambia or this place, so people can know you directly. They can also follow your music. You know, it takes a very good heart to do that. You know, not everybody can do that. Like take your music, an artist, a producer, take your music and just say it like that. And I believe in my work too. I'm not afraid of sharing my work, because I know I'm doing good work. Did a lot of good works for people, you see. So I will take and I share, because when you do something good, I believe you'll take it and share it. But if it is not good, there's no way you're going to share it. If you want someone to be successful, you'll share their stuff. But if you definitely just want them to be successful 50%, definitely you will not be able to do what I'm doing right now. But I want everybody to reach there. And for the industry, I'm doing it for the industry. I'm not doing it for just one person. So in my studio, there is nothing like bias, corrupt, or this and that. We didn't sign any artists in the studio. So we are working for all the artists. All the artists are equal in my eyes. When you come to record, we treat you exactly how we treat the other artists. It's all the same. If you come and you show us you know everything, definitely we will also be happy to learn from you. Definitely, we will not push it. And what you want is what we'll do for you. But if what you want is not good and it's not proper, definitely we'll ask you to go and work on it again. You know, we are not there for the money alone. The money that you give us is also going to support back the studio in case we have some breakdowns and so on, because we are also going to spend money, even more than what the artists are paying. So I want the artists to understand this and they know that, you know. So in the studio we have ACs, we have air conditioners, like you don't feel hot when you're recording, you're comfortable, you have all of this, and when we record you, we share your video all over social media, you know, and all of this, your links, YouTube links, we share everything. We make sure people know about you. We record and post, even instant live sessions, you know, immediate sessions. We do share them as well. Yeah. So this is it. I never had those chances, you know. I never had those opportunities. So these are opportunities that I never had, but I'm giving them to you. Even recording prices, we brought them down for all the upcoming artists as well. Even when it comes to the big artists, the same. We have discounts for you. You know, we make flyers as well, posters. All those ones we have discounts for you. Song covers, you know, event covers, all of them we have discounts for you. We do all those things just to make sure everybody, even beat makings, we make beats here in the studio and we make discounts for you. If you know the industry is charging you maybe $10,000, we bring it to $5,000. This is how we work. It doesn't mean because our work is not good, but it's because we are doing it for the industry. If we all do it expensive, most of the upcoming artists are not able to have money to do a lot of things. So this is it. And even the big artists, many of them are struggling. Like you just see most of them flashing in cars and so on. Sometimes don't think that's the artist itself. There are so many things behind it. Sometimes you the fans, I know most of you won't understand. But some of the things going around in the world, if you're on social media, you get to understand that most of the things the artists are doing, the fake is too much in other artists, but we have the original ones as well, who has everything. They have everything, you know, they own their cars and everything. You see, so definitely we support each other and we help each other, you know. Like before, what usually happen, like when you do your song, they just give it to you. But now, like, we thank God we have EQ Records here. I'll make sure every youth, every artist, everybody is recognized. I'll make sure I post. I've seen many people who have chances, even on my uploads, and they'll call me and tell me, oh, this person linked me and said, okay, I've seen your video, a studio posted it, and this and this and this and that. You know, your song is good. We love the clarity of the production, you know, and I thank all of you that are supporting, you know, and all of you who recognize the good work that we are doing. On social media, we don't brag or say like we are the best now. We are just doing our best. We are not competing with anybody, you know. We're just trying to I'm just trying to give you what I'm not seeing other people giving you. That is what I am doing. And I'm doing what other people are not doing. That's what I'm trying to do too, to make sure everybody is cool and everybody don't waste their time. Because no artist will come in here and waste my time on projects. So I'll make sure when it is out, I'll make sure you also know that you didn't waste your time. Yeah. So like when it comes to the studio, like what I said like previously, like the support in the studio here, like I know many people watching this, you know, wouldn't have expected it, especially those that told me, okay, I'll get you this, I'll get you that for your studio, because they didn't believe in me. But I'm still saying I don't hold grudges, as you know. I don't hold those things, you know. When you make your promise and you fail me, it's not my fear. The only person that will make me fear is the Almighty. Yeah, so the Almighty didn't fail me, definitely. Just because those people failed me doesn't mean I should discourage. And you as an artist, I would like to advise you this. When you are working as an artist, especially upcoming artists, please don't follow promises that you didn't see, because many people will promise you things that they don't intend to keep. I'm telling you this. I'm talking from experience. Many people will never believe in you except you do something. You have to get up and you do something. Don't sit down and say nobody is supporting you. I'm telling you this, 98% of people will not support you financially. And you don't expect to take donations from your fans. Your fans are there to wait for what you are supposed to do. unless if your fans want to support you like financially. But it's not for your fans to support you financially, but there are people who are so close to you that can support you. If they don't support you or they make promise to you, be careful of those things, because I'm talking out of experience. The people that are so close to me and that were disappointed me so many times, and I've learned from all of this, and I realized most of those things were my mistakes, trusting them. So this is it. And today I'm here. I've did all by myself. Nobody will tell me like I've supported you financially. And I even thank God that some of them in the industry, there are so many other bigger ones in the industry that I will not mention, but I know if they are listening, they will know definitely I'm talking of them. They will understand. Maybe if a word come out someday, people will know in public. But if they want to keep it secret, I think it will be better for them.
Yeah.